Good evening, my Facebook family and friends. This is Myra again, speaking to you from Brown Cherub's Love Zone. I think by now most people know what Brown Cherub's Love Zone is all about. For those of you who don't, it's my free Facebook page for singles who are seriously ready to mingle, or anybody else who is interested in attraction, relationships and love. Got a poorly eye, it's starting to water. And ever so often I like to jump on, do a quick little live to talk to you, to share hints and tips and strategies and suggestions to help people fall in love. I always say not just with themselves, but not just with somebody else in a romantic way, but with themselves and with life in general. So today I just wanted to quickly jump on and just share a couple of tips with you, because I haven't got very long. I'm supposed to be preparing for a session that I'm having tomorrow, so I'll have to be quick, but I usually run over anyway, but no, I'm gonna time myself today and be very, very quick. So yes, today my tip is about how to show something about who you are. My last live was about the fact that we aren't food packaging, or we don't come with packaging on us, so we don't get to know what somebody else's nutritional value is from looking at them like we can by looking at food products. And I was talking about how nice it would be if people did have labels on them telling other people a little bit about themselves. One of the things I do in the group is I ask questions so that people can just think about certain things, certain topics, certain issues, how they feel about certain things, and you can respond to the questions, but the questions aren't for me. They're actually for the person to consider, so that they can kind of sort out their core values and beliefs for themselves. Because if you can do that, as I've said in a previous video, it does help you to basically understand yourself better, so that when you meet people, you know your position and you know where you stand, so you don't kind of get sucked into relationships that are not going to work because the person doesn't share the same core values and beliefs as you do. So one of the questions I put into the group is, would you date somebody who has several tattoos or piercings? And people responded accordingly. Some people responded accordingly. But then it occurred to me that actually people who do have tattoos are expressing themselves and are sharing something about what's important to them, and sometimes even what their core beliefs are or what their values are. People often use tattoos to show things that are meaningful or memorable to them. I personally love, I'm talking about love, I love people who have tattoos. I find it exceptionally attractive. I can't take my eyes off somebody who has tattoos, because I feel like it's almost like a sandwich board to me. It's like an advertisement. It's like that person's literally got their heart on their sleeve, on their arm, and I just want to read them, because for me it's really, really attractive. I find it, and this is all very personal. I always talk about, how when I'm on these lives, I'm just sharing my own personal views from my own personal journey through life, through my own research or through my own life experience, and it's all just my opinion. And I do encourage people to share their opinions as well. So for me, I think it's amazing. I think it's really creative. I think it's really expressive. I think it's a good way of letting other people know something about you and what you stand for. in a very kind of bespoke and personal and unique way. And oftentimes, because if I can, I will speak to people about their tattoos because I just find them so incredibly interesting. I will ask them, what does that particular image or quote mean to them, and people so far have always been very open to sharing that. I have a tattoo myself, so which I did have before I became a baptised Christian. But to be honest, I still would like another few, and I'm still kind of weighing that up because I know it's a bit controversial in terms of Christianity, but everybody has to walk their own path and answer to the Maker when they meet the Creator. So I only have to answer to God. So I'll still have a little think about exactly what it is I want and where I'm gonna put it. But yes, and I just wanted to just say that tattooing is very excessive. Obviously, it's not easily removed, but there are other ways you can tell people a little bit about your beliefs or your core values in accessorizing. So, for example, today I am wearing my dress with the ankh on it. I don't know if you can see that. So, there it is. There it is. Nice. One of my favourite dresses this is because it has the ankh on it, and it's for me it's a good way to tell people hi Debbie. It's a good way for me to tell people and show people that I'm quite a spiritual person, and that I'm today I'm wearing it with my prayer hands given to me by my wonderful dear friend. So these are all ways that I kind of communicate as I'm walking through my day, some of my core values and beliefs, and people can see that. Now, I have said many times before that I don't do Brown Chobes Love Zone because I'm looking for a relationship. I'm already married. What I do it for is to try and attract new clients for my life coaching and my NLP practice. So I'm still really interested in attraction and how it works. And so one of the things I wanted to share with you today is if you are looking for a partner or looking to attract people, consider how your wardrobe or how your accessories are working for you. What are your accessories and your wardrobe saying of you to other people who see you in that way? Because if you're aiming to attract, then you may as well use your wardrobe, if you like, or your style or your fashion sense as a sandwich board, and communicate through your wardrobe. It's easily done. If you think about this moving forward when you next go shopping, or looking at your wardrobe as it is. If you look at your wardrobe, what does it say about you? Does your wardrobe communicate to other people? And I got lots and lots of tips when I was doing my makeover show back in May. And I don't want to talk too much about the show because I don't want to give too many things away. But basically, I got lots of hints and tips. I'm not going to tell you anything else. I was about to, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to spoil the show. Can't actually sure. This is one of the things I grew up with. Can't actually sure. You have to wait and see, and I'll talk to you more about that after the show's aired. Because I don't know how much they're going to share and how much is going to be edited. But I was there for 2 weeks, and it's a half an hour show, so a lot of what happened will be edited. But I did offer to do a day session on Look Good, Feel Good, and I was going to cover some dental, some mental, some hair tips, some style tips, and some makeup tips that I learned on the 2 weeks on the show, but nobody seemed interested, so I cancelled. But if you are interested in those things, do let me know, because I can do a session with you if you would like. So hi Simon. So yeah, consider how your wardrobe communicates your identity is what I'm trying to say. Consider that moving forward. As I say, if you are trying to attract people, this really is for people who are actively trying to attract other people. Yeah, because for people who don't know what the ankh is, which is the ankh, as I said before, that I'm wearing, it means nothing. They'll probably think it's just a cross and that I'm a Christian. But for those people who do know what an ankh is, they will know what that is, and they'll know that I know what it is. And similarly with the prayer hands, and I now wear my prayer hands probably more often than I wear my cross, because I think most religions understand and can relate to the prayer hands, whereas the cross is specifically for Christians, and I'm about loving everybody. Christianity is just my personal belief system, but prayer is something I think pretty much every religion understands and practices in one form or another. So, and that then wearing that then speaks that to the people that I come across in my day-to-day walk through life. So, if you're bold and if you're brave, and that's another thing you see about people who have tattoos, I view them as being bold and brave, because it is painful and it is pretty permanent. I know there's ways to remove them, but the ways to remove them are probably almost as painful as the way you got it done in the first place. So when I see tattoos, I don't just see the art and the creativity and the uniqueness of them and long to know the story behind the tattoo. I also view that person as having a backbone and being kind of tough and having and being willing to express themselves at the price of some level of pain. So I properly salute people who have a tattoo, and those people who don't have a tattoo, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to. I'm not saying go and get a tattoo. What I'm saying is consider how your wardrobe expresses you and your personality and your character and who you are. Like today I've got like wooden earrings in with like an African design on them, and again that's important to me because I like to consider myself as being green. I like to consider the environment when I can. I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't value expensive things. I'm more functional. I like to know what something is going to do, and I like the product to do that. I don't care how much it costs. I'm not going to spend more money on a product because of the brand of it. If I can get something secondhand that does the same thing, I'm going to do that, because that's just the type of person I am. And I don't always take that much kind of consideration over what I wear. Sometimes I'll just throw on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, which doesn't tell anybody anything about me. So I'm just saying, when you're actively going out to try to attract people, that's when you then need to consider your wardrobe and your accessories and think, what does this look say to other people? That was a massive message from the makeover show. I didn't realise how visual the general public is. I didn't realise, because I'm not a visual person myself, so I didn't realise how visual the general public is. Hi Chris, how you doing? Nice to see you. So I was really surprised when on the show people were shown my picture, or they looked at me standing in the street, and not only did they judge how old they thought I was before and after the makeover, but they were actually making comments about things like how intelligent they thought I was. People were saying that I looked tired, or I looked lazy, or I looked, like I was poor. All these assumptions people were making about me just from that moment that they either saw a flash of my picture or saw me standing in the street. And so this is what I believe is happening generally in society. So you might not think that people are clocking you, but every person who sees you is making some assumption of you in that split second, rightly or wrongly. People are taught, we try to teach people not to be judgmental, try not to be prejudiced, try to, kind of get to know someone. Don't judge a book by its cover. Everything that glitters isn't gold, and all those phrases you will have heard. But in terms of attraction, in terms of nature, in terms of instinct, that's what we do, and we do it. It's almost a safety mechanism. It's not just safety in terms of, you know, we're trying to calculate who looks dangerous and who looks safe, but it's also safety in terms of attraction. We are attracted to people who have something, a characteristic or a trait about them, I believe, that we find, okay then, see you, that we find familiar in some way. And I can go on to this in another video, because then that suggests a possible mate, a possible partner, and a possible way for us to connect with like, and that then obviously can lead to the creation of a new life, which is, you know, on a very basic level what we're all here for. So you know, and I could go on and on and on, and there's lots of different angles I can take, and I'm sure other people have different opinions, and that's what the group's for as well, for people to share opinion. But just for today, the suggestion was, you know, consider how your wardrobe, your accessories work for you. What's the message that you want to show people? How can you use your wardrobe and accessories to kind of advertise who you are, what you're about, what you like, what you don't like. You know, I love people who are eccentric. You know, there's a few people I know that are eccentric, and they wear very unusual clothes, or they will wear vintage clothes, or wear their hair in a vintage style because that's what they're like and that's what they're into. Now, not everybody is into vintage, but if you are into vintage, you would notice that person. You'd want to speak to them because straight away you know that they share similar interests to you. I know a lovely lady who likes to wear African print. I know a gentleman who also likes to wear African print. Now, the gentleman is now married, but I can imagine those two would get on very, very well because they both not only like African print, but they wear it. They've made it a part of their wardrobe because of how proud they are of their African heritage, how much they like the print, the design. And it can be expensive because it's not everywhere you go that you can buy items that have African print. Some of them have to be like tailor-made, so it's not easily done, excuse me, but people do it because it's important to them. So I hope all of that makes sense. I know it's a little bit rushed, I do apologise, but I do have to quickly get this session prepared before my session tomorrow. So as I always end off with, if there's anything you've heard that you've liked, do feel free to let me know with a little thumbs up or a little heart. If you didn't like it, you can feel free to put your angry face or your sad face, I don't mind at all. If there was any particular thing that you want to share in terms of a comment or thought or anything that you've agreed with or disagreed with, then do please feel free to leave a comment. And thank you, Chris, for your comment. All the encouragement is very much welcomed and appreciated. And if there's anything I've said that you think would benefit somebody else, then as always, do feel free to share. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you found something useful in this. Thank you for joining me and for listening. If you'd like to as well, if you'd also like to join Brown Chob's Love Zone, you can just DM me and I will add you to the group. You can have a little peep in and see what you think and have a look at some of the videos and consider some of the questions, and maybe even attend a social. So yeah, that's it for this evening. Thank you for joining me. Have a lovely rest of your day. Love and light, and namaste. Bye.